I yield back.
The gentlewoman yields back. Mr. Loudermilk is recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here. General Gibson, I agree with something you said in your opening statement. I do think the board made a wise choice in selecting Chief Manger. I think he was an excellent choice and has done a lot to improve the security. Something else you said, though, was, yes, I agree that the Capitol is more secure than it was on January the 6th. The question is it as secure as it needs to be? And that's what my subcommittee is trying to get to identify the failures of January 6th, which unfortunately the Select Committee did not look at, and identify those to make sure that they're corrected so the general populace and the people that visit the Capitol can feel that, yes, it is as secure as it needs to be. I'm going to ask some questions about January 6th, understanding none of you were in your capacity or in your current job at that time, but as your capacity in your current position that you can answer those. There was a 2003 directive of the Metropolitan Police that prohibits their officers from being on Capitol Hill property without explicit approval from the Capitol Police Board. So, Ms. Gibson, in your position as chair of the board, I'm going to ask you this. Do you know, are there any pre-existing agreements between Capitol Police and Metropolitan Police that allow them on campus without prior board approval?
Well, there are memorandums of agreement between the department and the Metropolitan Police, and there are instances in which they can come without the approval of the board, and specifically the legislation, which I appreciate, from 2021 that allows the chief to declare an emergency and call for that kind of external support without having to convene the Capitol Police Board for decision and discussion.
Well, thank you. Do you know, were there any pre-existing agreements in place on or before January 6th that also allows that?
Mr. Loudermilk, I'll be honest, I am very focused on improving the security of the Capitol today and moving forward, and things that occurred well before my tenure are not things that I've been focused on. I'm afraid I don't have that answer.
Mr. McFarland, do you know if that was in existence on January 6th, any previous agreements?
Sorry, I do not know.
Chief Manger?
I don't know either.
Okay. If it's possible, if somebody could look, that's very important for us. General Gibson, do you know, has there ever been a time that undercover agents, either federal or local, operated on the U.S. Capitol complex without Capitol Police Board approval or in compliance with some other agreement?
I am not aware of that occurring in my tenure on the Capitol Police Board.
Okay, thank you. Chief Manger, I'm not going to ask any questions about separations agreements, so I think that one's done for now. Who's Julie Farnham? Who is Julie Farnham?
She was a former employee who was the deputy director of our supervisor in our intelligence section.
Okay, so she's no longer working in the department. That's right.
Correct.
When she was here, was she working on a book while she was employed with the Capitol Police?
I know she's written a book. I don't know when if she wrote it while she was here or after she left.
When was her last day as a Capitol Police employee?
I can get back to you with that, but it's been a couple of months at least.
If you will, I appreciate that. Have you ever seen a copy or a draft of the manuscript?
I know that two of my staff have reviewed the book.
Okay. Mr. McFarland, have you ever seen a copy or a draft of that?
Yes, we have a copy for security review.
Okay. Same, Ms. Gibson?
Yes, my staff has also reviewed to make security redactions of sensitive security information.
And Ms. Rexroth?
I have not, but
You have not?
Yeah.
And I'm taking it that the review was for security sensitivity. General Gibson, who is Jennifer Hemingway?
Jennifer Hemingway is the Chief of Staff of the Senate Sergeant at Arms.
What was her role on January 7, 2021?
I believe at some point on that day, she probably became the acting Sergeant
Okay.
at Arms.
Yes, she was. Are you aware that on January 7th, as her role as acting Senate Sergeant at Arms, she called Ms. Pittman, Assistant Chief Pittman, and offered her the role as acting Chief of Police?
I have no knowledge of anything that happened on January 7th.
Have you ever discussed that with her?
No, I have not.
Do you know if the Capitol Police have any records of this communication?
No, I have no records of anything on January 7th.
Okay. Do you know if the Capitol Police has any records of the hiring of Ms. Pittman or Chief Manger?
Oh, I know we have copies of the hiring of Chief Manger. I was intimately involved in that action.
Okay. Fortunately, I see I'm out of time, and I yield back. I'll submit the rest of the questions for the record.
The gentleman yields back. Mr. De Esposito.